So first things first, you need some sort of a bias strip that's 1 inch wide. Now we have black and white here, but you may want to make your own bias tape, which is basically just cutting 1 inch strips on the bias and then winding it onto some kind of spool or feeding it through this apparatus. This machine is exactly like the single needle lock stitch machines that you guys have always used. So the threading for this machine is going to operate exactly just like a regular sewing machine, just like you always have been used to. The difference between this one is that it just has this added apparatus that allows this mechanism to fold and bind bias tape along the edge of your fabric. So what we're going to be doing today is basically casing over this raw edge of the fabric so that we have a nice bias bound edge. So the way that this works is the thread goes through this guide, and then it basically just needs to go in and out here, and it's going to go into this little window that's going to allow it to turn and get cased over the fabric. So I'm just going to demonstrate how it works. To start with, you're just going to feed your fabric right in underneath the machine like this. Turn it on, of course. Bobbin is normal. And as it goes through, it's just going to grab the edge of your material and it's going to stitch about 1/4 of an inch casing over the edge like this. Now when you're ready to run it off, you just kind of run your fabric off the edge, and it will continue to bind, but it won't continue to sew if the fabric isn't locked in place like that. Now, if you're threading a new fabric into this mechanism, I want to show you guys how to do that. So I'm gonna take this out. I think I'm gonna turn it off first. I'm gonna take this out. All the way so that I can show you how to change it. I'm going to use my tweezers because you need some sort of a device so that you can kind of push your fabric through this little window whenever we get it in here in order for it to turn properly. That could be a pair of tweezers, or it could be like a straight pin or whatever. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So when you're ready, what essentially it's going to do is it's going to fold the fabric in like this to touch, and it's going to fold it again to bind it over the edge. So we're going to feed it in like this, just kind of like weave it back and forth like that. And then to get it started, I just kind of fold the edges down and just kind of start pushing that through like here until you see it in the window. Now it's black, so you aren't going to be able to see it very well, but you're just going to push it until it comes out the edge like that. Now hopefully what's going to happen is it's just going to intuitively know to start going into this notch. You may have to kind of feed it in a little bit to get it started like this. But nothing crazy. So this would be really helpful if you were changing colors or using a different material or whatever. But the main thing is you want this little notch to start happening. Now, I'm just going to fold the edge of my fabric so you can easily see what's happening whenever you put it in here. To get it started, do a sample. So you want your fabric to be butted up into that notch so that it's kind of being sandwiched in between that bias tape. Turn the machine on, and you can actually do a few hand stitches if you want to make sure that it's getting started properly the first time.